Okay, good. Now we're going to next session. Let's talk about determining land value or the role that it plays, because land is something that we do focus on a lot with tax sales. It's because it's fairly common for it to go to tax sale. It doesn't always have a lot of competition, and sometimes there can be good potential profitability at it, like we saw with those lots there. They're picked up at about 5% of value, for around $2,000, but are valued at roughly 40,000. Um, you know, in order for us to be interested in a property, we always say that, property needs to have, if it's vacant land, it needs to have both use and it needs to have value. And typically one follows the other. If it has use, it tends to have value. If it has value, it's because it tends to have use. But when we say that a property needs to have value, what we're really saying is that it needs to be sellable. You can assign a certain value to any piece of property, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it's going to sell for. That's what we need to know, is what the actual sellable, value of a property is. And properties that don't really have any use are difficult to sell, and also tend to not have any value because, again, they lack that use. And so it's a red flag that we see all the time. That when we look at a property there initially for an initial valuation, if the value is set too low, it's always a red flag. There's something else going on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we're talking about looking at the market value, even as we're looking at those comparables, we're getting an idea of what are properties selling for, what is our current competition, to help us determine what value is. Now, if we're looking within city limits, we try to get as close as possible. I mean, if we preferably, if we can get it within a block or two, we like to do that. Now, sometimes depending on how much real estate is being sold, we may need to expand that search. We may go to a quarter mile, half a mile if we need to. In more rural areas, we can expand that larger. So when I was looking for, some land through some of the Virginia sales that we didn't get a chance to go over because of time today, some of these were big pieces of land, 120 acres. And so you're not going to find 120 acres just right next to each other. I'd expand that out a couple of miles. But if it was the same type of property with the same type of terrain, then that could be a really good comparable.
Yeah, in fact, the comps are ultimately what are going to set the value here for the property. So we've got a usable piece of property, then it's going to be through the nearby comps that we're going to be able to set the value. And we don't just look at what's currently listed on the market. We look at the sold comps. In fact, what we like to do is we like to get an idea of exactly what's going on in a particular real estate market, and we can use fast, easy tools like Zillow to get a quick snapshot of it. We don't have to be precise. More than anything, what we care about when we look into an area is to know how many properties are currently on the market in this area and how many properties have sold in that same market over the last 12 months. That's going to tell us whether properties are moving there or whether it's a very slow or stagnant market. Sometimes that information alone will be enough to make us move over to a different sale or look at different properties within the auction. And so that's something we do with every property we're looking at or considering. We're trying to get an idea of what the real estate market looks like, where it's located, and then we'll look into that market deeper to find specific comps.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So we like to use Zillow. I really like to use Redfin as well, because Redfin has a little trick that we can show you guys where you can kind of zero in exactly on that street and start looking at comps, from that location outwards.
Yeah, in fact, we can also set the parameters there for the search to make sure that we're dealing with properties that are similar to ours. It's why we divide up properties between our vacant land and our improved properties. It's so that we can focus on similar properties there in terms of homes or in terms of land. If we're looking at property, we can set our search parameters based on size, based on price. There's a lot of things that we can do. In fact, one of the things that we do like to do is whenever we're looking at nearby properties, we like to look at them starting price-wise from low to high. So if we're looking at what's currently on the market, we like to look at that from low to high so we know what the cheapest properties are on the market that we're going to be facing. Or if we're looking at the sold properties, we like to look from low to high again, because we're interested in what the market is actually doing in it. And the lower end of the price spectrum tends to be where the properties are at that we're usually trying to value. So for example, if we're looking at some of the results here, these are sold results, 920 that we're looking at, and we may be looking, we're looking at these from low to high. And so we've got a couple of cheap transactions at $300 or $400, $1,800. These could all be tax sale transactions or something other than just a legitimate sale. So that's something else we have to kind of discount, is when we're looking at properties that are not true reflections of value. But it also tells us what the entry level is for properties within that area. And that can be important for us as we're looking at properties, because we know if the entry level is right here, we can pretty well know which properties are going to work in this area and which properties won't.
Yeah, well, and when we're looking at the comps, we're going to see, is that going to be a usable property or not? Because side lots, non-buildable lots, they're going to be sold as well. And so if we can look there and we see it's, oh, that's only 2,200 square feet, it needs to be 7,000 square feet to be a buildable lot. Well, that's not going to be a good comp. There's also going to be properties that have sold through tax sale, that sell because of family transactions, that could be a different dollar amount. So we're going to be looking at the cheapest. What is the actual cheapest property selling for? So there's some $100, $200, those may not be real sales. Once we get to several properties that are about the same size that have sold recently, that's where we can get a pretty good idea, about what they're selling for within the area. But we can look up in zip code, we can look up by city, we can look up by, by sold information. We can go back to 5 years on Redfin, and usually we're going to try to do it as little as possible. But sometimes when I'm looking for land, I'll have to go back, especially large pieces of land in more rural areas. Stuff like farmland, you may need to go back 2 or 3 years to be able to really get some comps. Now, we would never do that within a city or with a bunch of area, but to see, because maybe they only sell land out there, maybe there's only 20 sales over the last 3 years. But that's going to be the best way I can find a good comparable if there hasn't been a 110-acre parcel of land that hasn't sold that year.
Well, and that also tells us something about the area and what we can expect, so that we're not just looking at what the numbers of the deal are, but we're looking at what the time frame of the deal, may potentially be. If they only sell 20 properties a year, in this area, then we know that, it might take a little while for us to get that property sold, so we can factor that into the decision of whether or not is it still worth it to buy it. If it takes a year for this property to sell, is it still worth it or not? And so, yeah, all of these tools will make it so easy for us to set values and with the properties. And what's nice about it too is that we don't have to be exact with tax sales here. Really, within 10% of value roughly is probably good enough, because again, we're not planning on paying full market for this property. We just need an idea of about what it's worth, so we can set our max bid as a percentage of of that estimated value. But yeah, like Steve was mentioning, there's a number of different ways that we can go into and look at specific neighborhoods on Zillow or Redfin. If you can look in at into neighborhoods and what their values are, you can kind of determine or select your own comps. In this case, if we just pull out the house number on properties, we can go into that neighborhood and see other nearby properties that are listed for sale. We can find the comps that are going to be closest to our property in proximity. And proximity is probably, along with sharing attributes, proximity is probably equally important, for setting an accurate number. The closer you are in proximity and the more characteristics your property shares, the more accurate that comp is going to be.
Yeah, definitely. The closer it is, and the closer it is in size, it obviously makes sense. It's going to be a good comp. Like we talked about, what we'll do is we'll just search by the street name. So many times land's not going to have an address, like a number address before it, 532, Timber Road, but we can look up Timber Road in that city, and then what Redfin will do is it'll zoom in directly to that street. I can't get Zillow to do that, so I like to use Redfin to be able to do this. And then you can see where that star is. It'll kind of zoom me in right to that street, and then I can look and see all of the properties that have sold. I can go back and look at 3 months, 6 months, a year. I can go ahead and you can, check even, you can even break it down. When I was looking today at some of them, they had quite a few results, but I need to look for larger lots. So I had lots that was between 3 acres and 12 acres or 15 acres or something like that. where I could look up bigger sized lots to help narrow that list down. So I'm looking at the closest comparables that I can find.
Yeah, which makes a big difference here. Um, the other thing that we can use are county records. They also have their own sales tools built into them for finding comps, and sometimes they are very detailed, go back a long ways, and provide a lot of records. Sometimes they might be easier to use as well. We can see the arrow in this case is pointing there. There's a featured online tools section on this property assessment, and it says comparable sales is what we can click on there. If we click on that, it's going to pull up the comparable sales feature here, and we can see properties that sold within a set radius. So within, and we can change that here, whether we're looking for for a quarter mile or a half mile or whatever the distance is. It will show us everything that sold, within that radius, within the set time period there we have.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. This is a huge feature that we can use. In fact, last week on the podcast, we actually went and looked when we were talking about GIS maps and some of the GIS map features that are available within the counties. We went and looked at some land that was selling within an area and properties that were selling within an area and found some really good comps using a feature just like this. And this is available through the county records. I mean, it is so much easier now in many ways to be a real estate investor. Now, of course, things are going to be different. There's going to be things that may even be harder than 20 or 30 years ago. But doing research now becomes so much easier for us to be able to do by using these type of features. I mean, unless you had access to the MLS, which only realtors had access to, it was hard to find comparable properties and determine what you actually thought your property was valued. In fact, most people would just try to look and see what one of their neighbors and say it was selling for or asking. And they say, well, they were asking 230, and I think our home's nicer than theirs, so our home has to be worth 260. It was all just a guessing game, and I know this firsthand because I started as a brand new real estate agent in 1999, where people were just kind of looking and then in their head determining what the value is. Now you can just type it into Zillow or Redfin or all of these different, and at least get some type of estimate of what they think it's valued at. That wasn't something that was available when we first got started.
Oh, what's amazing about those tools too is that they go through and do this process for you automatically. So in the past, if we would have, let's say that if we weren't using one of those tools, then in order to figure out the numbers, we would probably use something like one of the county tools there, to get the information. But then we would need to figure out the averages here, just like we're doing. So comparing the sold price there and the estimated value here on properties. We could figure out the dollar per square foot the same way, but they automatically do it for us, which saves us a lot of time. In fact, I think the best thing you can do really, if you're trying to find good comps there for the area, is to pull up that property initially and check out the comps first that they're using to value the property and see how accurate you think those comps are. Are they too nice for your property, or are they good accurate numbers there? Would you say your property is in worse shape? That's one of the places there that we can catch mistakes. Maybe they're using comps that aren't the best, or that are not the most accurate, and we can use more accurate comps. But more often than not, though, the tools tend to be close, within 10% probably, and fairly safe to use. But what's nice about all this, though, is all this stuff takes tons of time. We don't have to do any of that anymore. Unless we want to do a specific comparable market analysis here, our final stage of evaluation. We're setting our max bids. We can get a pretty good idea of what those numbers are going to be within a matter of just a minute or two using some of those tools.